Hi, I'm back on YouTube, and I'm going to be making different videos other than my cringy videos from the past. Let's get into a Yu-Gi-Oh deck that I created myself that I'm going to show you how to make for yourselves, because this deck is pretty fun. You only need 10 monsters out of a 45 card deck. What you need is Lava Golem, Zubaba Knight, Dice Jar, Pot of Forbidden, 3 Magician of Faiths, and 3 Mask of Darkness. Mask of Darkness, whenever it's flipped, you can bring a trap card into your hand. Magician of Faith is the same way, only it brings a spell card in your hand. This card, when it's flipped, you can do 4 different effects. One, you can either draw 2 cards, return all spell cards into the hand, or destroy all monsters on your opponent's side of the field, and I don't really remember the other one, but it's okay. Dice Jar, each opponent rolls a 6-sided die, and whoever rolls the highest, your opponent takes that number times 500 points of damage, unless they roll a 6. If they roll a 6, you take 6,000 points of damage. Zubaba Knight automatically destroys any face-up defensive position card. Lava Golem, if you contribute to 2 monsters on your opponent's side of the field, and they receive it. Yes, it has 3,000 attack, so you just gave them a 3,000 attack monster, but every single one of their standby phase, they lose 1,000 life points. That's all the monsters you really need in this deck. Let's go on to the spell cards. You need 3 Swords of Revealing Light. It's obvious what that does. Cards of Sanctity, everyone draws until they get 6 cards in their hand. Pot of Greed, Rain of Mercy, that gives you 1,000 life points. Everyone gets it. Pot of Avarice, take 5 monsters from your graveyard, put it in your deck, shuffle, and then you draw 2 cards. Cards of Sanctity, Upstart Goblin, your opponent gets 1,000 life points, and you draw a card. You need 2 Mask of Dispels. You put that on when your opponent has a spell card, they lose 500 life points. Mask of Brutality, your monster gains extra attack points. Contract with Dawn Thousand, everyone loses 1,000 life points, and you draw a card. Everyone draws a card. And then Heavy Storm, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. So that's what the spell cards do. These cards, you can add more Pot of Greeds. I don't have that many Pot of Greeds, otherwise I'd put more in there. But you can do what you want. Same thing with Contract of Dawn Thousand, you don't need it in there, but it's okay to have. Now the trap cards. Mirror Force, 2 Jar of Avarices. It does the same as a Pot of Avarice, but it's a trap card and you only draw 1 card. Drop off. When you're on your opponent's draw phase, they automatically send that card to the graveyard. Needle Ceiling, if there are 4 monsters on the field, destroy all monsters. Exchange of the Spirit, swap the decks in the graveyard. Dice reroll, self-explanatory. Just Desserts, your opponent takes 500 points of damage for each monster on their side of the field. Negate Attack, Threatening Roar, you end the battle phase. Legacy of Yatagarasu, you draw a card, but you draw 2 if your opponent has a spirit monster. 2 Jar of Greeds. Mask of Weakness. No, that's a Mask of Restrict.
Yeah.
That's a Mask of Weakness. Sakuratsu Armor. 7 Tools of the Bandit. Spellbinding Circle. Curse of Anubis. And Shadow Spell. Shadow Spell is the exact same thing as a Spellbinding Circle, only the monster loses 700 attack points. Now, this deck, like I said, is not focused on monsters. It's focused on spell and traps. Mostly the trap cards, because the trap cards do a lot more that will benefit you than the spell cards. Now, if you can build this deck yourself, I would recommend it, because this deck, in my opinion, is super fun to use, and it can piss off your opponent sometimes. And that's the best part, is pissing off your opponent, because it's funny. Well, that's it for this deck. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you do make this deck in the future, because it's really fun. You only need 45 cards and 10 monsters. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.